talking unless y'all giving me land and 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
I'm not talking unless y'all giving me likes, okay? And 2,000 or more subscribers every week until we hit 100K. You hear me? Good. Listen, I'm here for us to chat about B.Simone and the sit down that she had with one of her very close friends. We're gonna listen to a few clips, all right, from this particular interview that they had together, and we just gonna chat about it real quick. So if you're new to the channel, hey, make sure you guys are coming in supporting the channel by liking and subscribing to the channel as well. All right. So B Simone has this podcast called Let's Try This Again. And of course, it's called, for the people that don't know, Let's Try This Again, because she had a podcast with one of her ex besties named Megan, right? It was called Know For Sure. It was super dope, super cute. I got a chance to go to one of their live shows, really enjoyed it. It was a vibe. Well, later on that year, they ended up kind of like breaking apart, going their separate ways, and it wasn't necessarily clear as to why the two broke up. B Simone, in this interview, she did kind of hint at some things that she had been through in past friendships, and I do feel like um with this interview, the things she was saying when she would hint about a past friendship, I feel like she was talking about Megan. And she had a host of other friends, right? It was a few ladies she used to hang with when she was around Jackie O. Right. I believe Ernestine Morrison was one of them. Bree, who's I believe she's a radio host, also used to date, I think, Carlos from Wild and Out. And then there was another young lady, and I can't think of her name, but she kind of looks like a Jackie O. She favors Jackie O. But they all were a part of a clique, you know? And what was interesting was when B Simone stopped befriending Miss Megan and they're no longer cool or whatever, Megan continued with her podcast. And the name, I want to make sure, I think it's called In Totality, the podcast name for Megan. She continued with her thing. B Simone branched off. She did her own thing. Let's try this again. At one point, there was a comment that was made online, I believe that B Simone may have made about certain friends or whatever, or hinting at the fact that friends want to smoke weed and do certain things that she no longer wants to do, and that's part of the reason why she parted ways. Now, at first, those group of ladies she parted ways with, they said that she just sent them like a text message, like she didn't want to be their friend no more or something like that, and they all was kind of like shocked, like, girl, why? Like what happened? Like, let's talk about it or whatever. And so yeah, she just pretty much parted ways with those ladies, and they've come online and said a few things, and, addressing things that, B Simone has said, bless her heart or whatever. Like, B, we've never pressured you to do certain things or whatever the case was. Like, stop playing on these people top. Y'all, B Simone gets a lot. When I tell y'all, the hate for B Simone grows, like, the people really can't stand her. And, you know, I don't know everybody's reasoning as to why they can't stand her. I think some people feel like she's fake. I feel like a lot of people are feeling as though when things may not be working out for her in this arena, she tries to go over here like a lot of other people to be in the sector of Christianity and gospel and God and all of this stuff or whatever. But y'all, I think that honestly, she just in a crisis moment to me, and she has been for some time, where she's just trying to figure herself out. And she's doing it on display in front of everybody. And as you're doing this on display and, monetary purposes or whatever, um, it could be cringe for some people. You know, I do think in my personal, there are some contradictions and things that is going on with B Simone. I know currently listening to this video, she talks about fasting, and she's been fasting for a few days. I think she's trying to fast for 10 days, but she feels like it's going to end up being 13 days. So she's needing some clarity about things. But also, I question if she knows when she's really hearing from God sometimes, right? But I'm not in her life to really know what signs he's giving her and to not give her. Like, as she's talking to her friend who had her, I believe her name is Shekinah. Shekinah mentions something about the moment that B Simone is in, and B kind of like rejects her and says, no, I don't think it's that. I think that, what I'm supposed to be doing or what I'm focusing on is, and I'm like, I don't know. I kind of lean, my thoughts lean more towards Shekinah in that moment and what she was mentioning about the direction or something about B Simone. So it makes me feel like, B, you only hear what you want to hear sometimes. right? God may give you a message and you might feel like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna go do this because that makes more sense for me. Right. So I don't know. It's something about it. I just feel like it might be a bit of contradictory stuff going on within her. She definitely got some turmoil. She does title the video saying I'm going through a spiritual battle, and I said, girl, spiritual battle is definitely what it is. You're having to you're just trying to figure some stuff out. I think you're trying to find some type of direction just a bit. I do. I do. The first video that ended up going viral about B.Simone was the video of her and her friend, and we are going to get into that, where the friend opens up and talks about how she was struggling the past year. And with her struggling, she's seen B.Simone give to other people, but she didn't necessarily give, to her, but it's not her job to do so at the same time. So when I saw that clip, I said, let me go and let me watch the entire episode to really see what's really being said. Because, those clips, they just be a little something. But that is what she was saying. And she was talking to B.Simone, but she pretty much put it off on herself that I got my own journey, to go through. But one thing I said when we discussed this on the Ooh Ladies First panel, I did say in the very beginning, before I even watched this episode, I said, y'all, when she saw B.Simone give money to other people, that could have been a time when B.Simone had the money. A lot of people, financial situation has changed a bit for them, right? At this time. So they can't really give how they once was able to give, right? Potentially. So I said that could be the situation. And we also don't know who else she's looking after, taking care of, or what the case is. So that's what's going on. That, at least those were my thoughts about the situation. But I want us to listen to, it's three different parts I want us to get into. The first two parts kind of run into each other, where they talk about, what all Shekinah had been through this past year, not necessarily getting help, but having to go and get government help. And then also she talks about the jealousy, right? There was jealousy that B.Simone was feeling potentially. B doesn't think she was jealous, so we'll get into that. And then at a later time, there's going to be a discussion about business and what B.Simone kind of wants for her business. And I want us to tap into that. So I am going to speed this audio up for the people. So hopefully you guys can catch up. If not, make sure you go over to her channel and you check that out. All right. So let us go ahead and listen to this.
This was the hardest season of my life this last year. And sometimes when the public perception is like being a best friend with a celebrity, everybody thinks that, oh, because you're connected to this person, then your life is just as grand as theirs, or you got
or they helping you.
Baby, when I tell you, didn't have a job, living with my parents, a single mom, all this happened to me this past year.
Jesus.
And then it's like to not have resentment in my heart towards you because I saw you do this for other people. I saw you give a check to somebody to help them through whatever they went through. And it's like, God, like I love him. That's my soul. And I can't get nobody didn't give me a handout, but guess what? That wasn't your responsibility. God had to take me through that for my own season, for my own thing. I had to get my car repossessed.
Jesus.
I had to go through the food stamps line. I had to be on Medicaid. Because whatever I'm building my story too. But it's like, as a friend, somebody who has it, it's hard to digest because everybody around you, nobody would, they're probably shocked that I'm even saying this right now.
1000%. I think the people are shocked that she's saying this, because I don't feel like a lot of times, and although she's coming down and everybody's coming down on B.Simone in this moment, what I can appreciate in this moment is transparency of friendship, right? And just telling a person your honest feelings about something. I don't know if she's done this before or she's doing it now, but I feel like real conversations need to happen and let a person know, you know what I'm saying, how you're feeling. Even though she's sitting here, Shekinah, and saying, that's not your responsibility. True, it's not. It's not. I don't care what nobody say. It's none of your friends, rich or poor, responsibility to take care of you. Okay, if they choose to buy you a sandwich, then okay. Like, they got their own stuff going on. So I don't think anybody should walk around with expectation or even resentment, really, about a friend not necessarily looking out for them, unless you're a friend that has often poured into that person, unless you're a friend that has often given to that person. And then now when you're down, they don't want to help you a bit, then I could see you feeling away in that front, right? And for those that watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, I feel like that's similar to Kelly and Britt, right? Where the whole glam squad situation is coming into play. But the real issue is Britt does not show up for Kelly how Kelly has shown up for Britt. So then I understand being in your feelings. But also, yeah, a person they don't owe you anything. But at the same time, I appreciate this honest, transparent conversation, because a lot of times with friendships, we'll feel a way about the actions of a friend and we won't never tell them how we genuinely and truly feel out of fear of conflict or whatever, altercation, whatever it is, right? Uncomfortableness. We won't say anything and we'll just continue to go on and on, take mental notes. And then at some point it could potentially blow up, right? So I feel like I do like the fact that she's able to say this, but even though she's saying, oh, you know, like it wasn't your responsibility, you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that, obviously is something that I think may still bother you, or is a, you know, it's a note here because you did bring it up. Okay. Um, Especially when she said, I've seen you do that for other people. So when you say that, it makes me feel like that's still a part of the friendship. And it doesn't mean that you don't love B.Simone, you don't support her or whatever. That's something that still made you feel away because you're also still in your space where you're going through that. Now, what I will say as I listen to this interview, I do believe she works for B.Simone though at this time. So I do believe that she is being, in my opinion, and hopefully it plays in the second or the third audio that I'm going to get to, because the first two kind of run together. So I'm hoping that it plays in that portion where she kind of talks about when she says us, and it is something that she says that confirms to me that she actually is a part of B.Simone's team where she's getting paid. So also a lot of people, it seems, was dragging B, but for that little clip that was played, but it sounded like B.Simone actually is helping her. So I don't know, y'all, but I mean, and it may not change your thoughts about her as a whole, and that's fine. But I'm just looking at that particular situation where I had to go and get some additional context. But let's keep going.
All this year
in less than 12 months.
What? But I said all that to say, like, I don't even know what was it.
And let me go back before she finished, so she can remember what she was saying when she was like, "I've seen you give a check to a person," right? It also leads me to the thought of B.Simone gave a person money and they didn't have to do anything for it. It was just here. Whereas when it comes to her friend, I'm not just going to give you something, or you're going to have to work for me. And then that's how you get paid. So that it could be that type of dynamic too. And maybe she's thinking Shekinah potentially, I don't know. She didn't say it. These are my thoughts, where she may have been like, well, you know what? Why I got to work for it? I seen you getting somebody a check. I seen you put money in their hand. Why I got to work for it? I don't have to work for you. Just give me the money. Right? It could be that as well, but I do believe she works for B.Simone.
Not being resentful, and it's both. It's you knowing, oh, that's not your responsibility, and it's me knowing I can help the right people.
Yeah, but the flip side of that is like, okay, not me. Everybody has their own lesson.
Right.
Mine is like, okay, don't be resentful. But you were trying to fight through bitterness or unforgiveness, whatever.
I did that already.
Right. But it's like, okay, if God told you to give Shekinah some money,
right,
would you listen, or would you allow would you allow what you did in the
resentment
past
and the bitterness
to come between that? Everybody has a responsibility.
Not even Shekinah some money. Anything. If God said it, just because you were heartbroken, if God said, go, that's your husband, but now you fearful because the last nigga cheated, you done missed out on the whole blessing. You can't let the past pain and the past heartbreak and the past relationship breakup and the past anger and sadness and brokenness keep you from doing it again, trying it again.
Oh, Lord.
Trying it again. Trying it again with the right people, with the right friend, with the right man, with the people that truly love you.
Right. So what they're kind of talking about in this moment is Shekinah is asking, you know, if you're being led by God to do it, are you going to follow through? We all have our own lessons. And my lesson was to not be resentment, not to, you know, be harmed by, you know, somebody not showing up for me or whatever the case is like that. And she's trying to figure out, well, what were you going through? Because maybe she didn't give to me at the time because she was bitter. Maybe she felt like if she shows up for me in that way, I may treat her the same way that somebody else, like somebody from her past is, you know, has treated her. And when they're talking like this, I'm thinking about Megan, in all honesty. That's what I'm thinking about. So B is having to figure that out. And now I feel like she's talking things out in her head and telling herself like to not show up a certain way based on things that you've done or how you've been in your past, you know, or who may have done some things to you in your past, because each person is a new experience. At least it should be. So they may not consider the possibility that that person won't harm you or treat you or make you feel the way that a past person has. Right. And that's why she's saying you got to get up and try it again. But leave y'all thoughts about this now.
I literally talked about that. I said, I want to do what I used to do. I told you I missed that.
You did.
Oh my God. Yearning for it. And I know God is going to bring that back tenfold, but just.
That was another point in our relationship.
Yeah.
Recently, I have this opportunity and I called you and I told you about it.
This is the second part.
And you were just like, okay. Mm-hmm. And you called me back.
I called her right back, y'all. I was so convicted.
Like,
I was so convicted.
You were like, I don't like how I felt when you told me that. And I was like, what do you mean? You were like, I don't know what it is. I'm talking this out in real time. But whatever it is, I don't like what I felt. And I said, did you feel jealous? And you were like, I don't think I feel jealous. But like, will we be able to do what we did before?
Yeah.
Will it happen?
So y'all hear that? She got an opportunity. B.Simone was really like dry with it. A lot of times when you do share with your friends, they are a little jealous. If they're giving dry and they're not giving a big reaction, that's because they're thinking about their own life and how they feel like things aren't working for them. And I too, you know, when I first moved to Georgia, I experienced that with myself as well, where I felt like, you know, I felt a little jealous, but I worked those thoughts out on my own as well, you know. I feel like moving to Georgia as a whole, as a single mama, was a whole spiritual journey within itself. But I had to always remind myself whenever I felt any type of emotions like that is there's no need to feel any form of jealousy, because what God is doing for people around you, that means he's in the neighborhood. He's showing you what is possible for you if they're getting a leg up. And it proved itself every time, because whenever they elevated, I wasn't too far behind with elevation myself. So there's no need or no reason to feel a way about what they have. And something that Shekinah said earlier on is so key. Everybody has their own journey. And for Shekinah, even though she wasn't given that money, and I do believe she works for B, she still can say like, I got myself out the mud. Because one thing about it, when you're getting back to where you need to be, you're elevating. A lot of people will try to attach themselves to, oh, you wouldn't be so successful if it wasn't for. And it's like, nah, this all me, fam. No. We may have crossed paths. We may have done this, that, but this is all me. Okay. This was my determination. This was my focus. You know what I'm saying? This was my ambition. This was my hard work. Like, okay, I might recognize you a little piece of honey bun, but you know, don't think you get too much. Right. And that's just for like any situation. All right. Whether y'all got a raise or got promoted to some position. Like, yeah, they may have put a word in for you. Right? But at the end of the day, it's also a part of the hard work that you put in too. So yeah, when other people are elevating around you, I feel like it's a natural thing for humans to want to feel jealous about somebody else, because they immediately go into a space of comparing. But don't compare in that way. Compare in a way, I see you, like I love that. Because I know that it's going to happen for me. And then it be different goals as well. Like, it just be different stuff. It just be different things sometimes. So I really like, though, I know people are going to eat her up, and I'm going to let y'all do what y'all do. But I do like the transparent conversations that these two friends are having in this moment. But I also feel like when a person is being open with you and talking, like, just make sure you're taking heed. Listen to your friends. Okay? Listen to your friends. And maybe shift some behavior if need be, if you really care about them and want their friendship.
For us again.
Yeah.
And that's when that's how we got on the conversation of you letting go of your hurt and not being traumatized by your past.
Because we went through all the emotions. Are you angry? Are you sad? Are you jealous? I was like, I'm not jealous because I don't want what you have. I'm sad and I'm angry and I'm upset that I'm not doing it with me. Yeah. Like, we're not working together. Yeah. Like, I don't have that. Y'all, let me say something. Anybody that's in my circle, I want to work with you. I want to put you on. I'm putting you in position. I like doing it together. You do. How can we do this together? How can we make money together? How can we build together? How can we grow together? How can we all pitch in together?
That's the thing though, B, for me. You don't have to do everything together to do it together. And that's just how I feel about that. I feel like I used to be that person, right? Where I wanted to attach myself to my friends when it came to goals of my own, right? But that really was me being afraid. That was fear on my end, so that if it did not work out, I didn't have to be the only person holding the weight of, damn, it didn't work out. It falls on me. I have somebody to share blame and accountability with, right? But honestly, sometimes you want to get something done faster. You gotta move on your own. And then eventually, your team or whatever the case is, that the people that's for you are going to come. But as far as like your friend getting an opportunity and you feeling a little way about it and you weren't necessarily jealous, but at the same time, you want to do everything together, like, you don't have to. You do not have to. If your friends are in different arenas than you, we could do this together, as in, I'm going to support you. I got your back. I promote you, whatever the case is, yada, yada, yada. But we're doing it together, right? I guess, in a parallel, but we're not necessarily doing it together because you have to work with me exactly on this project or on this thing that I'm trying to do. I do feel like in my personal that might lend itself to a bit of control, right? Because there is a bit of a power dynamics, just a little bit. You're the one that's more famous. You're the one that has the most followers and stuff. And I think sometimes with that may come a personality of thinking that your way is always the right way. And that's not necessarily the case. And as Shekinah has said, she has her own journey and things like that. So, I mean, that's just what she got her own journey. Everybody don't have to be up under you and team up with you to help, because whatever she does, in my opinion, only helps elevate you. But how much does she really elevate? Right? Everybody's not trying to play that understudy type of role or that assistant type of role. You have to be open to the fact that people have other ideas, goals for their own personal life outside of you. And I understand you want to do everything together, but you don't have to. And it's interesting to hear that you would want to do everything together, considering the fact that the one thing that you did do together with your bestie did not necessarily work out. Now, granted, just because something does not work out that way, which is kind of what they're talking about now, don't allow that to hinder you from wanting to try it again. And I get that, right? But you just gotta, I mean, each person and each, ambition and goals and stuff, they're different. And if she wants to propel beyond, especially being in a space, because honestly, for me, and we're different. So I'm not going to overly judge her on her perspective, but I am going to give mine. If I saw, which I have, seen one of my friends be down and out financially, yeah, like I have looked out in small things. We go out to eat, like, nah, I got the bill. Like, girl, don't worry about it. Whatever, like small things like that, right? But she also had, just like Shekinah had parents that looked out for her, she also had parents that looked out for her. So when I've seen how my friend has shown up and stuff, and she finally got that opportunity that she wanted, I was so happy. And honestly, I have this situation with me where I tell my friends, don't tell me until you get it. Because that's how I operate. That's how my mama taught me. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold what you got. And whenever I've operated outside of that, girl, it's a mess. And that's a whole nother situation. But aside from that, like, wait till you get it. Then you let me know. Right? So when she got her opportunity and she told me about it, I was so ecstatic for her. I'm not thinking about why it's not happening for me. Now, I may have been in my feelings like, dang, my closest friend is going to have to move away just a little bit. Like, no, can you just stay and work out of here? I did kind of want to hold her a little bit with that. But I'm like, honestly, the best thing for you, because you grew up here, you have to leave. And I think everything that you want for yourself is going to be once you get up and you go. And it doesn't mean our relationship has to change at all, because a lot of my friends don't even live in the same state as me. Right? So I'm like, it's all good. But I that wouldn't be my thought. And I guess it's different for me because my journey is different from hers, where I've worked through those thoughts already. Right? And in that moment when that information came to me, it wasn't like I want that same opportunity. God is in the neighborhood is showing me. No, I'm just genuinely happy for my friend. Like, this is what you wanted. This is what you got. Right? And we're doing it together. As far as some of the things that I have, she desires to have at some point, and I believe that she's going to have that. And I encourage her about that. And I pray for her about that. But like, we're still doing it together in two completely different arenas. So, I mean, you definitely got some spiritual battling going on that you definitely have to work through. But I'm not gonna come down too hard because I just feel like everybody's situation it's just different. But let me know your thoughts.
Be millionaires I want to do it together.
Yeah.
And there was a point in my life where I had that and it was crumbled. So I feel like since that has ended, that season, I've always yearned for it again. But it's just been a season of solitude for 2 damn years.
Maybe the longest season ever.
The longest season ever.
Yeah.
And I think, I know that's what it was. But I was so convicted. I called you right back. I was like, that's not right.
Yeah.
Like, your friend, she just told me she was doing something so bomb, so great. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I was like, that's disgusting.
Yeah.
This has to get out of my heart.
For sure.
Like,
what?
what?
If we just did that, nobody's looking for the perfect friend.
Man.
I just want my friends to be aware.
And honest.
Mm-hmm. I'm okay if you feel a little jealous.
Address it and fix it. Pray about it.
Literally.
Let's purge your heart.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. And so many relationships would last and outstand the test of time if we just did
Took accountability.
And just talk. Just talk. Yes. Just have a conversation. It's just a conversation. It's just a conversation. And if you feeling conflicted, like, honor them feelings, okay? And work on that. Get it up out yourself. I'm glad she did call her back and let her know, like, that wasn't right. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to have those feelings. I am excited for you, but let it not be another occurrence of that happening. You really need to sort that out with yourself, now that you done told her, because then it's giving a little piece of a personal problem to me. So yeah, I can appreciate that. Let me see.
I'm so proud of us for how we're doing this in this season. I'm like, are you okay? You looked at me kind of funny.
No,
like,
sure.
what are you feeling?
Why
are you feeling
your left eye? Are you mad? It's like, no, nigga, I'm not.
I'm sleepy.
Literally.
I'm hungry. Damn. That was it. We've had some. Yeah.
Because we both were in our own seasons of solitude too.
Yeah.
While I was going through that and rebuilding.
And yeah, can I say this? Also, I just feel like it's not time. I understand that that's something you yearn for. Like, believe it or not, there are a lot of women that yearn for a man, yearn for a boyfriend, yearn for a husband, whatever the case is. And it's not time for that. Yearn for a child. It may not be your time for that just yet. And I know that may be something you want to do, another partnership or whatever the case is. But I feel like in that time, you also need to, and maybe she's doing this, you need to make notes. Be very clear about what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want when that opportunity finds you again to do this type of, project or whatever the case is. Learn from the errors of that past. Don't hold nobody else to that, but just, make notes of things that may have happened. And if I were granted this opportunity again, then I would like for it to look like this. Like, you got to be clear, because let me tell you, write the vision and make it plain, honey, but let's keep going.
Building myself. We both have been rebuilding, but rebuilding different parts of us.
Yeah.
And it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, but I am appreciating this conversation between the ladies. There is another portion I want to get to, you guys. I have to go to her page to check it all out. Okay, if you don't have much time, girl, just watch it on a faster speed. Watch it on a faster speed and you should be fine. All right, so let's check this portion out when the ladies get ready to talk about the business and stuff.
Just in certain things, I will go back to the selfishness. Like, I feel like certain things I am selfish. Like,
yeah. No, I think that comes with being a celebrity too, right? Like, you are used to things. I think you're used to things revolving around.
I don't think that comes with being a celebrity. I think that comes with being an entrepreneur at times. I think you want to be successful so bad that it can result in you being selfish. And that's just what it is. I mean, if you're aiming for anything, selfishness is going to come with it. You're going to have to be a little selfish.
It comes with me wanting a team that sees my vision and everybody around me is here for the vision.
But we are.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Okay.
So when she says, but we are, that leads me to believe that she is a part of B.Simone's team and she does work for B.Simone, which is why B.Simone got offended a bit when her friend told her about the new opportunity she has, because B.Simone, being selfish, is thinking to herself, well, how is that going to affect me? Dang, I'm probably losing another person on my team. But then also, damn, I wish I was having, more opportunities come to me. Because I don't know if I mentioned this earlier on in the beginning, but there was a part of the interview where B.Simone does talk about the fact that money ain't the same, right? Money's not the same for her like it used to be, which is one of the very things that I mentioned when I first saw the clip. I'm like, well, shoot, maybe she gave it to that person because she had it in. Now she probably ain't got it. And then we listen to the video and she goes on to say just that. So that's what I'm thinking was going on, primarily, though, is the fact that B.Simone she is a selfish person. She knows that. She's admitting to being a selfish person. And all she's thinking about is her business. She wants people to be on her team and just be comfortable working under her. But I disagree with that, B, because you don't even live that life. So I don't think it's fair to expect others to live that life either. You know what I'm saying? And people will ride with you for oh so long until they want to step out. Because you not going to work under Nick Cannon forever. You're not going to just be one of those extra people on Martin Lawrence's, comedy shows. At some point, you wanted to step out and branch out and say, I'm B.Simone. Just like you want to be $1 billion B, they want to be some too. And you want them to be able to accomplish those things while working under you. But at the same time, I do feel like that's where a little bit of the contradictory stuff comes in. And that's where your selfishness leads in more. And we'll just let this play so y'all can see what I'm talking about.
Talk about that.
I don't want anybody. I mean, we talked about like the team thing. I'm really big on this team right now. Like, team. Yeah. I've gotten to the point where it's like, okay, if you're here for a year, that's fine. But in this,
and every time you say team, I get it.
I know, because it's trauma. But in this,
no, I don't think it's trauma.
What do you think it is?
I think that right now, I don't even know if you're supposed to be focused on that.
No, I feel like I am.
That
I feel like it's all coming together too.
Boom. So you see how she's listening. She's like, I don't know if that should be your focus. Like team. Because if it's not coming together right now how you want it, then that may not be the focus. Maybe something else needs to happen before you get there. She's like, no, I don't think that's what I think it's this. I think it is. I think that is my exact focus. So I'm like, okay, these are the things that I be talking about when you're so focused on what it is that you want. I feel like that's also a part of the selfishness. So it makes me wonder, when you do hear what you need to hear from God, are you operating really from, okay, let me just do this? Or are you operating from, no? Are you operating from selfishness or something? Like, huh?
I feel like it's in such a good space.
okay?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe mine is trauma.
Yeah.
I'm hollering. No, maybe mine is, maybe it's me.
Think about it.
Hollering.
Then come back to me. But the team, I'm like, I used to be real big on like, you need to be with me for 10 years and build this and build. Well, I told you, I was like, why doesn't people stay and just build the legacy and I could just make millionaires? Like what Tyler Perry's doing.
Literally.
You don't need to.
But my question is, are you making them though? Are you making them? Why don't people stay? Hopefully she explains this more, but like, why don't they stay? You have to do those self-checks with yourself. How am I showing up as a boss? You want everybody to work for the boss, but how am I showing up for the boss? Because one of the reasons people definitely gonna leave a company is due to organization and poor management. So that's what my question, how are you showing up as a boss for those people? Are they getting paid enough? Is the work matching the pay? Right? So I don't know. And sometimes you got to understand what their true desires are, because if they come in and they work for you and they get what they need, now they can go off and go and become their own whatever. You got to give people something though for them to want to hang around.
To go make another Tyler Perry Studios.
Yeah.
Help
I'm
him.
giving it to you. Yes.
Like I am trying to find that, but I also understand there's other leaders out there. There's other CEOs. There's other women with vision and their own.
Let me go back.
It's trauma. But in this,
No, I don't think it's trauma.
what do you think it is?
I think that right now, I don't even know if you're supposed to be focused on that.
No, I feel like I am.
That?
I feel like it's all coming together too. I feel like it's in such a good space.
Okay.
Yeah, I do.
Maybe mine is trauma.
Yeah. I'm like, pray about it, think about it,
Sure.
and then come back to me. But the team, I'm like, I used to be real big on like, you need to be with me for 10 years and build this and build. Well, I told you that. I was like, why doesn't people stay and just build the legacy and I could just make millionaires? Like what Tyler Perry's doing.
Literally.
You don't need to go make another Tyler Perry Studios.
Yeah.
Help
I'm
him.
giving it to you. Yes.
Like I am trying to find that, but I also understand.
But why
there's other
would one not need to go and make another one though? Why would they not need to? We love options. And let's be clear, in my personal, things are limited. That is why a lot of people continue to hang and stick with Tyler, because Tyler also does good. So when you speak on Tyler in the arena that he's in, also look at how he may treat his people. Granted, like I said, we had this whole conversation on OLFP where we talked about Tyler having people work for hours or whatever the case is and shooting something in 2 weeks or whatever the case, right? But some of those people may feel like, dang, I can make $500,000 by just working these 2 weeks, and I don't have to take up 3 months of my life in a irregular schedule. So I just gotta put in all these hours for these 2 weeks, and then I'll be compensated. Whoa, that's way more that they'll pay, that I'll get paid than what I would if I went to somebody else over in Hollywood or whatever, right? So I think he may take care of his people. So again, that is why they're also willing to hang in there. But don't think everybody has stayed with him and continued to build him up. Some people have left, and he's had to find new people to fill those positions. And sometimes it's not like, if you got 10 folks, I would consider maybe 3 is going to be there with you for the long haul, maybe 2. And that's just how life happens, the different transitions, different goals, different things people want for themselves, you know, so that's what I'm thinking. I feel like, look at the entire picture and not just a piece of it, because people are building Tyler up to be the billionaire that he is today. But
leaders out there, there's other CEOs, there's other women with vision and their own purpose, right? I just, if you're going to be with me for a year, in that year, the vision is LTTA. The vision can't be whatever the fuck you're trying to do, excuse my language, Lord, off to the side. Like, do it after that year then. I want people around, because I'm tired of starting over.
But see, that's why I think the conversation of team is premature.
Thank you.
But why?
Because I don't really think you feel like that.
What do you think I feel like?
I think you want us here longer than a year.
I do. Right. I do. But I'm okay.
No, you're not.
No, I am. I swear I am. If we know the intent. If we know you're going to be here for a year, and you can be an asset for that year, and we make the strategy, we make the exit plan, you can pass the torch to the next person, I'm okay with that.
You just don't want to be left high and dry.
That's it.
Got it.
I don't want to be left high and dry. So if you know your long-term goal is for you to be a CEO and have your own podcast and be a superstar, I need to know that day one.
For sure.
And
I do agree. I think that she should know that day one. I do. But also, there should always be as much as you're selfish, there should also be self-reflection, right? And you need to check in with yourself to see, how am I showing up, as I told y'all, on a day-to-day basis with my crew? How am I handling them? How am I talking to them? How am I treating them, so that they are not leaving me high and dry? I feel like when people leave a person high and dry, especially when you just quit a job and that's it, that is due to some form of mistreatment or lack of consideration for, you know what I'm saying? That is for unappreciation. They're not feeling appreciated. There are reasons that you have to look inside and see what you got going on. All right? That's just, to me, I know you want them there, but you also need to be asking, what is it going to take for me to have a team long term? How do I need to show up every day? Okay? I don't know if you need to ask Tyler, hey, can I shadow you for a day? You know what I'm saying? Can I shadow you for a week to see how you are, how you show up with your people, whatever? I don't know if you need to sit down with them. You're cool with Crystal Renee. I'm sure she's never going to say anything negative, and that's not the expectation. But she probably could tell you how he works. You're familiar with these Tyler Perry, castmates to get an understanding of how he works. Hell, you about closer to have a conversation with Tyler and have him on your podcast than we do to get inside his brain to see how he operates as far as his employees. And I know y'all ready to dig in the comments about that SA lawsuit trial, because that's don't do that, okay? But as far as getting his business to where it is and how he shows up with his employees, take notes of that, because ain't nobody just leaving nobody high and dry if they care about them. You know what I'm saying? Unless it's like a medical situation or I gotta move, a family emergency. Usually it's contributed to a not so great work environment. But that's my personal.
To be working for
it deter you?
Yes, because I can just produce your podcast. You don't need to be working for me. If you want to be a podcaster, we need to focus on that. But if you want to, learn, I want to learn logistics. I want to learn operations. I want to learn how to build it. I want to learn this. I want to learn that. I love serving. I don't mind that. Yeah. Okay, then come help me. If you're an asset, come help. But in this 6 months, in this year, in this 2 years, the vision is LTTA. I need all of you for this vision. I can't do it on my own.
I still think he's refining that.
Okay.
I agree.
I accept that.
The reason why I think he's refining that, and the reason why I think the team portion could be a little bit premature, is because the calling on your life, you're an entrepreneur and you're a visionary. So you're going to be called to help women like that. You actually get annoyed when people don't have nothing else that they want to do in life.
For sure.
Right.
Which
pull
is,
it out of them.
To me, contradictory, though. That's contradictory. That is very much so selfish, where you want them to have other goals and ambitions, but you want it to be centered around your own goals and dreams. And I just disagree with that, because you have to understand, as Shekinah said, everybody has their own path, right? God calls other people to other things. So let's keep going. Those are my thoughts.
Exactly.
I'm like, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. What? Let's do this. Let's start this. You can. I know it.
Right.
I pull it out of women.
Absolutely.
I know that.
So your greatest frustration with building a team is that, but it's actually what you're called to. So you got to figure out you got to fine tune that a little bit more before you build the team, because you're gonna build a team of women that are bosses.
So why can't you just be on the team and be a boss?
Because you're not going to allow it. You're not going to allow it. You just literally said that you don't want them doing anything else but your stuff, unless you want them to be a boss solely under you and your companies.
Multi-millionaire, and you run this
you
section
can,
of the
are
team.
you set up for that yet?
What do you mean?
If somebody came and said that this is what they want to work for you, whatever, but they feel like they're a boss and they're called to this in 2 years, are you set up to give that person what they want and need to stay within your company, like a TPS? Are you set up for that right now?
I feel like we're building towards that.
Okay.
I feel like that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Like I don't just want to hinder you and have you be a slave and a worker. Yeah. I want you to be fulfilled under me and feel like I am fulfilled. I am doing what I want to do. Yes, Jennifer is called to this section of the company, and she has 40 women under her. They go through Jennifer. They don't even have to come to me. She's fulfilled. She's over 40 women. She's speaking to women. She's working with women. She has this section. She runs this section of the company.
Now, there are some people out there that are like that. There are some people that out there that are good at their jobs and enjoy doing just that. Being a boss under you and helping you elevate to where you're trying to be. I have to say, I think that there are some people out there like that.
What she does. She's still a boss under a company that she would have never been able to build on her own.
I get what you're saying.
If Jennifer just works with me, she'd be a millionaire. But she over here trying to start something with 5 people.
That's not encouraging. I disagree with that. I don't like that. So she should go with you. And see, this is where it kind of irritates me a little bit, because you can't have a conversation about God and not know how he may be leading other people. Okay, he, she, whichever one you want to refer to God as, right? You can't say over here they could be a billionaire, they could be this or that, but they over there trying to start a company with 5 people. You don't know that may be $1 billion company that they finna start. You don't know that, right? So I don't know. I think the main thing is, know the intent of your people, understand and know who you're getting to work for you. Be very clear up front about what it is that you want, and let them know that you want to help them to get to where they're trying to go as well, but you want to see a full commitment with you. But at the same time, if a person wants to go and start a company with 5 people, do you see Jeff Bezos? Like, do you see other folks that are millionaires out here that's doing just as good and started with a little bit of nothing? Like, I never forget when B.Simone used to sit in her car. It was like an old car. I think it was like a little tan, old little car. Wasn't that great or whatever. And she would just be doing all these videos on Instagram. Like, people, you know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be beyond where they are. Like, even Shekinah slick telling you, like, Shekinah want more things for herself. Yeah, she working with you for the time being, but I'm glad that you guys are being transparent and talking, because when that time comes, because it will, for Shekinah to step away from your thing, because maybe she's been led, right? That my time here is up. It doesn't mean I want the friendship to be up, but I am being called to do other things. It is what it is. But hopefully she does find her team. And I know you want that longevity and you want to build it up, but sometimes it might be a bit of rotation. It might not be some people that's going to stick with you forever, right? But that's when you have to create some processes to offload people so they don't, and then better treatment so they're not just leaving you high and dry. They're willing to give you the time to find somebody else to come in, step in, and fulfill their portion of the project or something. So I don't know, but y'all leave y'all thoughts about it. I just wanted to come and give you guys a little piece of something when it comes to this B.Simone situation. I'll let you guys leave your thoughts. Like I said, make sure you're subscribing to the channel and you're also liking up the video. I'm Jami, that's me, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Aegis. Game time, I invaded gym. High elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over. I'm Invader Zim, on a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can fill a pool with